I don't understand because Kendrick Lamar doesn't seem like he sold his soul. And yet
Well,
they're giving
understand
him so
this.
much.
That's not true. Anybody who signs that contract, they got you.
Everyone in Hollywood has to be shaking in their boots right now. Jaguar Wright just won a Freedom Fighter Award from the government. You can't tell me something's not getting ready to come down pipelines.
Sometimes in order to get what you've never had, you got to do what you've never done. And here I am, from Instagram to the Defender of Freedom Award.
God has spoken.
Right.
For whatever reason, Trump is his guy. I guess that means God wanted Trump.
So just when we thought Jaguar Wright disappeared or got silenced, news broke that she received the Defender of Freedom Award at Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort. And if that's not wild enough, Jaguar is stirring the pot again with her interviews. And this time she's going after Kendrick Lamar, claiming he sold his soul when he aligned himself with Jay-Z. And get this, Jaguar claims that Kendrick could be the next to be sacrificed by the industry. Now, as you can imagine, fans are split down the middle about all this. Some are convinced this Trump connection, and Jaguar claiming Kendrick sold his soul, are proof that Jaguar has been nothing but controlled opposition all along, playing both sides while stirring up chaos. However, others are defending her and saying only using Trump to get a bigger platform to spread the truth about the industry. And here's where it gets even messier. Apparently, Jaguar didn't vote for either Trump or Kamala Harris. Instead, she backed De'Ara Cornell West. And she said that her reason for not supporting Kamala is because too many celebs who endorse Kamala are linked to Freak Off Club. So now it seems Jaguar thinks Trump might be the key to finally getting that infamous Diddy list exposed. So what's really going on here? Is Jaguar making legitimate moves to expose the industry? Or has she gone completely off the deep end? And what exactly did she say about Kendrick supposedly selling his soul? There's a lot to unpack here, so
Try to sacrifice Kendrick.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
I do.
I'm out here on the West Coast. I'm in California. We can't take that.
I think.
Right now. We already lost.
I think they gonna try to sacrifice Kendrick.
Don't say that.
I think that's what the Super Bowl is all about.
Oh no.
believe it or not, the government's really out here giving awards to Jaguar Wright, the woman who's been shaking the table for years with her unfiltered takes on the music industry and making expensive allegations about some of the biggest names in the game. Yeah, the Jaguar just received the Defender of Freedom Award from Trump's administration. This all went down on Tuesday, February 18th at Trump's Mar-a-Lago Club in Palm Beach, Florida. The event was hosted by America's Future, and the award was presented by none other than General Michael Flynn, Trump's former national security advisor. America's Future, a nonprofit organization that describes itself as the nation's leader in the fight to preserve American values and ideals. Michael Flynn presenting Jaguar with the award, stating, "Jaguar Wright, a voice of truth and courage." And they captioned it, "Tonight, Jaguar Wright was honored with the Defender of Freedom Award presented by General Michael Flynn in recognition of her fearless dedication to truth and justice. As a bold and unapologetic voice in the fight for transparency and accountability, Jaguar continues to shine a light where others fear to tread." General Flynn also shared the news on his official account and wrote, "Jaguar Wright is an amazing woman of courage and conviction. America's Future was supremely honored to recently present her a Defender of Freedom Award at the beautiful home of Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago. Congratulations, Jaguar." But as you can imagine, completely divided on one side, you've got the critics who are dragging Jaguar, saying, "I told you so," and calling her a liar, a fraud, and accusing her of selling out by aligning herself with Trump's circle. Basically, they're convinced this award is just more proof that she's been playing everyone from the start. When one user on X went off on Jaguar, saying, "I knew Jaguar WGHT was full of his," when she made Trump out to be a victim and Kamala to be some kind of evil, got all the sympathy for an adjudicated rapist, but contempt for the woman who made a living locking up rapists. Then she wanted to talk about Diddy's victims, and then someone else agrees, writing, "You're 100% correct. I follow Jag's ignorant commentary from time to time. Award confirms my suspicions." Some people are also saying that Jaguar being in cahoots with Trump proves that she was used by the right wing to spread conspiracies about black celebrities and discredit them, especially those who publicly endorse Kamala Harris, like Jay-Z and Beyonce. However, Jaguar's loyal supporters are riding hard for her, and they're still convinced that she's 10 steps ahead of the game. They're saying Jaguar knows exactly what she's doing, and that cozying up to Trump's circle could be part of a bigger plan to expose the industry from the inside out. And Jaguar herself kind of hinted at this when she talked about the elections. During her appearance on Real Life Productions back in November, Jaguar even made some wild claims about how Trump was chosen by God. And while she didn't vote for him, and instead endorsed Dr. Cornel West, she still thought Kamo was a worse choice than Trump. Jaguar then brought up how a lot of celebrities who endorsed Kamo were close to Diddy, and she hinted that Trump could be the one to expose the rumored Epstein and Diddy lists.
I said, what I said? It's gotta be Trump.
Right.
He's the only one telling the truth.
Right. So, would you classify yourself as a Trump supporter?
I classify myself as a believer and an avid follower of the Word of God.
Right.
God has spoken.
Right.
For whatever reason, Trump is his guy. And guess what? They say God works in mysterious ways.
Right.
Nothing happens unless God permits it to happen. I guess that means God wanted Trump.
Right.
And considering on the other side, everybody that was endorsing that candidate is an alleged freak-off attendee.
Right.
I don't see how God was rocking with that.
Do you think that Trump will now release the Epstein?
I think Trump's gonna release it. Oh, I can't wait. It's gonna be fabulous. I can't wait to see how many people gag, vomit, and lose their mind. I mean, we're already living in Trump derangement right now. Like, ever since the election, it's been pure Trump madness, mania, lunacy. People are literally faking grand mal seizures and strokes online because this man won a contest.
Right.
It's a contest. One side won, the other side lost, and God ordains all. So who y'all mad at? You mad at God? Something like that.
Something like that.
Well, yeah, because the candidate that I went for, you had to write his name in. So I hope it gets there,
So, Jag, what are your thoughts on Project 2025?
Oh, by the way, salute to Dr. Cornel West.
However, there's been a lot of speculation that Trump himself might be on one of those tapes, especially since there are receipts of him hanging out with both Epstein and Diddy.
Working for Diddy for 6 years trained me to have to be perfect.
Working for Diddy?
Absolutely.
I love Diddy. My nizzle. You know, he's a good friend of mine. He's a good guy. Is he a good guy?
I don't want to answer that question.
Oh, wow. I think he's a good guy. I'm going to stick up for him. All right.
Now, as for Jaguar, she didn't want to say whether she believes Trump could be on one of those freak-off tapes. However, Jaguar said if such a tape does exist, it won't see the light of day.
There's a young woman by the name of Andrea right now doing interviews, suggesting that she was tipped off by someone with inside the feds who said they saw her on some of the evidence seized. They said she was sedated, and they said she was being essayed by multiple men at the same time, which we know is called a train. And she tried to elude that allegedly our 47th president-elect was involved somehow. Do I know if that's true or not? I do not know. But I tell you what I do know. If they try to attach Trump to any of this freak-out foolishness, they all as good as dead anyway.
So as always, Jaguar is speaking in riddles and contradicting herself. And while some fans are dismissing her, saying she's either crazy or paid to act crazy, others are still sticking up for her. And they're thrilled about this award she just received from Trump. However, this Defender of Freedom award isn't the only reason Jaguar is back in the headlines. And now she's also stirring up fresh drama with her recent comments about Kendrick Lamar. But as always, Jaguar's main target remains Jay-Z. So according to Jaguar, the whole Kendrick versus Drake battle was orchestrated from the jump. And she even went as far as to compare it to the Tupac versus Biggie beef.
I'll tell you one thing, it's been almost 30 years since Biggie and Tupac were taken from us. That was social engineering at its finest. It got people in line, didn't it?
Got a question.
Now you think about Drake right now, and you think about Kendrick Lamar. That's looking about the same as Biggie, Kendrick. I'm Biggie, Kendrick, Tupac, Drake. Think about the comparisons.
Yep.
Imagine, be a gangster playing. Imagine
Comparisons.
if the same fate that befell Biggie and Tupac happened to Drake and Kendrick.
Just imagine.
And as messy as Drake is right now, I can almost bet that there's somebody that wants to turn his faucet off.
But that's not all. Jaguar claimed that Jay-Z has secret financial ties to Top Dog Entertainment, Kendrick's former label. And according to her, Jay was allegedly pulling strings behind the scenes to profit off the chaos. Jaguar then alleged that Jay used the situation with Kendrick and Drake to assert his dominance in the industry and distract everyone from his connection to Diddy.
Now everybody knows in the backdrop, Sean Carter, that you promised the South that the next time the Super Bowl came through, it would be a Louisiana affair. And then when Diddy goes and gets into trouble and you need to convince the white people you're still in control, you bring Kendrick Lamar, who we already know you don't like for the way he embarrassed you on Don't Kill My Vibe, the remix. But we also know you got ties in TDE, Sean Carter, and you got a switch on top. I know that. I know that for a fact. Just like why you keep having artists that want to jump off of high places. Shout out to Ab-Soul.
Oh.
What was her name? Alori Joe? That woman threw herself from a control tower and impaled herself with spikes right before she was about to sign the TDE. And her fiance, Ab-Soul, threw himself off the freeway out of grief and survived. Why are all of the artists at TDE so unhappy? You got some of the best artists in the West there. Why did Kendrick Lamar feel the need to leave and start his own? And why is he able to release more records now that he's not at TDE?
So basically, Jaguar is saying Jay-Z is using Kendrick like a puppet. But she didn't stop there after Kendrick's Super Bowl halftime performance. Jaguar said Kendrick has now officially sold his soul. Now, Jaguar didn't exactly diss Kendrick, and she said she understands he participated in this whole drama surrounding his beef with Drake for the sake of art. But she still warned him that cozying up to Jay-Z is a dangerous move.
I don't understand because Kendrick Lamar doesn't seem like he stole his soul. And yet,
well, understand this. That's not true. Anybody who signs that contract, they got you. And people like Kendrick, who are intelligent and smart, started making plans early on to work their way out. The only difference between he and I is that he decided to save art. I decided to save people. What he's doing will save art. He's fighting for art to have a voice. And if people want to look at the crown on his head and not see the fact that he's literally sacrificing his entire career, his personal fame, to save art, to save hip-hop. It's hard to be a extremely intelligent person that's trying to reach people who aren't. You have to find a way to dumb it down enough to make sure they get it. That's not always easy, and it's not an exact science, because your average everyday mind is just not susceptible to brilliance. It's been trained to enjoy stupidity. There's no discipline. There's no imagination.
And then when Jaguar was asked why Kendrick was allowed to go after Drake the way he did, and why he was honored twice, first at the Grammys and then at the Super Bowl, for essentially calling Drake a PDF file, Jaguar alleged that this is because Drake was the acceptable monster at this moment, who was used as a scapegoat to distract from even bigger monsters behind the scenes.
Because Drake was next in line. And he is the acceptable scapegoat at this time. Just like Diddy is the acceptable monster at this time. You know, people keep forgetting. Everyone thinks like, oh, you're trying to make it all the way to the top of the music business and you're going to be the guy. But then when you make it to the top, you realize the music business isn't the top. It's just another department in a much larger house. So once you get to the head of the department, you realize you got to make it to the top of the corporation. And then you make it to the top of the corporation and find out there's a voice from the ceiling that tells you and them what to do. See, the quest for the top is so seductive and elusive because the truth is it's unobtainable. Because even if you did make it all the way to the top, you would find out that what they were really afraid of are the people. See, power is afraid of people. It uses people. It needs people. It feeds on people's energy. It routes it the way it wants it to go. But if power loses control of people, then people become the threat. And then what happens to power? All people have to do is say no. That's it, collectively. United. See, that's what they work so hard to fight. That's why a troll's greatest mission, first and last, is no matter what, on the way in, on the way out, create division, create division.
However, Jaguar still had more to say. And in another recent interview, she actually warned Kendrick and said she's worried he might be the next in line to be sacrificed by the industry because he's waking too many people up, especially about certain topics that are off limits in the entertainment industry.
I'm going to try to sacrifice Kendrick.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
I do.
I'm out here on the West Coast. I'm in California. We can't take that. We already lost.
I think they're going to try to sacrifice Kendrick.
Don't say that.
I think that's what the Super Bowl is all about.
Oh no. And I don't want to hear you say that because what you be saying it be coming to pass. Like we gotta cast that down. we gotta like not Kendrick.
He would be the perfect person to remove right now.
Man, that hurt my soul. You hurt my soul this early.
Trust me, they want him gone. They want him gone. He's waking too many people up. He's waking too many people up. He's talking pure facts. You know, people look at Kendrick like he's just another rapper, but the truth is he's an artist who knows how to rap very well. He is an artist first, but he is a true believer in God. He's a Hebrew.
Man, Israelite, right?
Yeah.
So basically, Jaguar is saying that Kendrick's putting himself at risk by trying to play both sides, according to Jaguar. He's dabbling with both masters, trying to serve both God and the devil at the same time, and aligning himself with Jay-Z. And signing that contract was a dangerous move. Basically, Jaguar is saying that even if Kendrick's motives pure, like trying to save the art of hip-hop or uplift the culture, it doesn't change the fact that he sold his soul by getting involved with the industry's higher-ups. Now, here's where things get even messier. A lot of people are saying that Kendrick should have thought twice before aligning himself so closely with Jay-Z. See, Kendrick has been getting showered with praise and accolades for calling out that Jay-Z himself has faced similar allegations, and yet Kendrick's been silent on that front. The conversation got even louder after the recent lawsuit against both Jay-Z and Diddy filed by Jane Doe was dismissed now. While the official line is that the lawsuit lacked merit, a lot of people are convinced that the case didn't disappear because Jay-Z was innocent. but because the alleged victim was possibly paid off handsomely to stay quiet. And even if that particular lawsuit didn't stick, people aren't forgetting Jay-Z's long-standing ties to Diddy for years. Jay was deep inside Diddy's inner circle, and while he's been very careful to distance himself from Diddy ever since Cassie opened the floodgates, and all those allegations surfaced, the receipts are still out there. There's a ton of footage of Jay-Z and Diddy hanging out at parties, attending each other's events, and even Diddy going on record calling Jay-Z extended family his personal strategist and the first person he dials up when he's in trouble.